Hey guys, it's Mike. Back on the trail again. Sunday, July 17th, 2016. I was planning to do a little fishing in the boat today, but as beautiful as it looks, there's a chance of thunderstorms and I didn't want to be on the water and have to deal with that, especially in such a small boat. So I decided to go for a hike instead. I've got a raincoat in my bag, and if it starts to rain, it's all I need to be okay. Even as warm as it is in the middle of summer like this, rain gear isn't even necessary. Getting drenched would actually be kind of refreshing. But as always, being in nature, I consider it my church, my sacred place, as many of you do. It's a great place to reflect and ruminate and contemplate and have deep thoughts. That means different things to different people, but that's what I'm out here trying to do, trying to find a deep thought and run with it. Haven't had one yet, I'm just trying to get mellow. That clinking you hear is my jugaloo. But I'm gonna fix that. There we go. I was out here about a month ago with a good friend of mine, actually a good friend of both mine and my brother's. It's a guy we grew up with, one of our dearest friends. We used to have a lot of fun together growing up, had a lot of amazing memories together, and we only see this guy every 5 or 10 years or so. He lives overseas, and it's pretty rare to catch him, but we did. We caught him one day, and he was stateside for a few days, and we had a nice visit with him and came out on this trail. And I'll tell you, it was 30 years ago, and we used to hang out and do stuff together and have a good time. And 30 years have come and passed. We probably haven't seen each other a dozen times in those 30 years. But man, it was just like old times. The same vibe, the same fun, the same crazy humor, the same observations, the same volley and serve of wisecracks and smart-ass observations. Just, it's uncanny. You know, I'm sure you've experienced this, but it's a handful full of people in our lives that we just have a wonderful bond with. Decades can pass and we can run into them, and it's just like nothing ever changed, you know? So that's my immediate reflection being out here, is of the last time I was out here and what a good time we had, and just that phenomenon of, you know, how decades can pass and it's like nothing changed, even though so much has changed in all of our lives. And you know, we were just teenagers having a good time, running around, being mischievous and kooky and wacky, and here we are 30 years later, you know, having adult lives and everything that entails: the good, bad, the ugly, the trials, the tribulations, the stresses, the achievements, the victories, the defeats, the whole thing. You know, we've all experienced a piece of all of that, and we're better people for having done so and lived in different parts of the country, different parts of the world, and considering all that, to come back together, and it's like nothing ever changed. So it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. This corner that I'm going around here, it's a slight bend in the trail. My brother and I refer to this as Grouse Alley because over the years we've done a lot of grouse hunting, and you can almost always count on seeing a grouse somewhere in this corner. It's a good habitat for them. I flushed one a few minutes ago, maybe 100 yards back, just before I started the camera. If you've ever flushed a ruffed grouse, there's nothing like it. It'll make you jump out of your skin if it's close and if you're not anticipating it. It sounds like a helicopter taking off right next to you, which is a defensive mechanism they have, because it scares predators who are about to pounce on them and have them for dinner. and it's very effective. Because the times where I've almost stepped on grouse, they do that and scare me out of my skin. Very effective. The little trail down there goes down to the lake. I've done a video from there. Did that in the spring. And I've got some other things I want to check. This is where the trail used to go. And I remember back in '97 even, we could walk through there. And it was good, firm ground, but now it's just very muddy. It's somewhat dry now because it's summertime, and it haven't seen a lot of rain, but you come here in the fall or in the spring, it's too mucky really to walk through without sinking deep. So they built this little bypass around the trail, and this has been here a good 10 or 15 years now. They come in and maintain it once in a while. And yeah, I'm going to pause for a bit. I've got to take care of something. I'll be right back. Alright, we're in a little field of ferns here. Knee deep in ferns everywhere you look. Had to venture off the trail here for a minute. But I want to tell you some of the things I like to carry with me when I'm in the woods up here. First and foremost is some toilet paper. And if you ever are in a situation where you have to use it for its intended purpose, you will be extremely grateful that you brought it with you. Nothing worse than being out in the woods needing to go and not worrying or not trusting some of the leaves that you won't get a reaction on your tushy tush if you try to wipe with it. So toilet paper is an absolute essential. And there's a trick to going to the bathroom in the woods. See this tree trunk here? What I would do is squat down and put my back into it, so now it's like I'm sitting on a chair, but there's nothing underneath my butt, if you can picture that. And just make sure my ankles are clear, and if my pants are around my ankles, make sure that's clear, and let it rip. And then when I'm done, pile it with leaves or debris, or if I have a shovel, cover it up with that. That's the old Michael LaPierre method of doing your doo-doos in the woods with a minimum of hassle. Because I've tried it a few other ways and it didn't go very well. So that's my secret method. The other thing I always carry with me is a whistle. If it'll focus here. It's too close to focus, but I've got it on a lanyard, so that's as far as I can pull it out. But the reason for the whistle is if you ever get lost and there's people searching for you, and the other thing is you always want to let people know where you're going, so that if you haven't come back by a certain time, people come out looking for you. But if you're ever lost like that, you can holler yourself hoarse, trying to get the attention of a search party. Whereas a whistle, all you do is give a little toot every now and then, and the sound carries pretty good. And the heck was that? And that'd be a lot easier for them to find you. Whoa. And a lot easier on your lungs and vocal cords. The other thing I carry is my Jugaloo. I've got 2 more in the bag. I go through a lot of water as it is. If you're wondering about that term Jugaloo, I'm a French Canadian there, as you know. And in French they call water loo. This is my jug of loo. My Jugaloo. That's what's going on with that. I also, the other absolute 2 essential items would be a knife of some kind and something to start a fire with, whether it's a lighter or some matches. And I always like to have a few of those cheap plastic ponchos you can get at a dollar store or a Walmart. If you have to make a crude shelter, if you're going to have to spend the night, it's good to have a few snacks in your bag. I also have a handgun with me because we are deep in moose and bear country here. And if I were ever to have an encounter, I would first blow the whistle, and if they're still coming in closer, I would fire a warning shot. Now in a self-defense situation with people, if you're in a home or if you're in an urban area, it's against the law in most states to fire a warning shot. But in the woods, I'm in their territory, I'm the guest, I'm the intruder, and I would rather not kill an animal unless it's hunting season, and that's what my intention is. So I would fire a warning shot, and if that doesn't do it, and they're still coming in aggressively, well then the last resort would be to shoot it, which I would hate to do, but given a choice, that's the way it goes. But across the stream, I think the walking's better on the other side. And what else? So I talked about snacks. It's good to have a few snacks in here, especially if you have blood sugar issues like me. And insect repellent. The bugs aren't too bad in here today. They're definitely around. I had them buzzing my head when I first came out, and I sprayed my hat real good with insect repellent, and that seems to be doing the trick. I haven't had to put any on my body yet. If it comes to that, I will. Now there's a spot I'm going to where I can, I'm probably going to go for a swim in the lake, and instead of bringing a big beach towel to dry off with after, which takes up a lot of space in the bag, I bring a hand towel like you'd have in your bathroom or kitchen, and it takes up a lot less space. You can dry yourself with it, especially look at this dry stream bed I'm walking in, especially drying your feet off real good before you put your shoes and socks back on for the hike out. So that's how we prepare. And of course I got my Tri-City LL Bean hiking boots. Nice pair of boots. They're completely waterproof, at least up until you get to where the tongue splits off. But this area is known for being swampy and mucky, and you can clomp right through that, at least up to 2 or 3 inches deep, without getting your feet wet. So that's a good thing. I've been known to come in here barefoot too, but I haven't been barefooting as much this summer. The last couple of years I've been trying to barefoot as much as possible. I think it's good for your feet. But I've got some people have office hands, and I do have office hands. I also have office feet. But I'll tell you, when we were kids, we used to run around barefoot all summer long, and we'd run across gravel and up through the woods and just about anywhere because our feet had gotten so tough. But just the necessities of adult life are such that you have to wear shoes all the time. Feet are pretty darn tender. I still try to barefoot around the house as much as I can, but I haven't come out here barefoot in a couple of years, but I used to. So now we're just trotting along, just enjoying what a beautiful day it is. This is a beautiful piece of boreal forest. Now, since I was in here last, that tree came down across the trail. That's new. Shouldn't be too hard to get around it or over it or under it. As we get closer here, we'll know what we're doing. Huh. Looks like a birch tree. We'll go up over here, I guess. Another birch tree down. What the hell? That's a white birch. I think there's a yellow birch right here. Birch are notorious for being the first to go down in a big storm. Usually it's heavy snowstorms that'll take them down, but it must have been a windstorm. Oh, it's a third birch. What the hell, man? There must have been some hella hooping hurricane force windstorm. Yeah, actually we did have a big storm last week with some heavy winds. That must be what that's about. Wow, they took it hard in here, I guess. Huh. You just never know. Now, if you look through there, where you see the light through the trees, that's the lake. And I'm probably going to pause the camera here in a minute, and we'll end up down there and see what's going on. It's usually have the place to yourself, but you never know on a Sunday like this, beautiful Sunday. Could be people out there. They can get there by boat or by this trail. But as far as how to get to it from the trail, the only people who know how to get there are the ones that know how to get there. There's no formal trail, there's no sign. And those of us who know it's there want to keep it that way. So I'm not going to disclose the way down there. But in a few minutes here I'll pause the camera and start it again once I'm there. So yeah, I'm going to pause. I'm going to let you in on a little secret to helping you cope with insects, flying insects like mosquitoes mostly, but deer flies, horse flies. A little trick I learned over the years that as they start coming around you and buzzing around your head, do not flail. Do not flail. And if you do flail, don't flail near me. That basically tells the insects that, hey, we got a blood host over here, come on over. So if you're flailing, that's what you're telling the other bugs, or that's what those insects that are on you are telling the other bugs. It's like, hey, we got one. So what you do is, if you feel a bug on you or getting a bite from a mosquito, you just gently, discreetly kind of put your hand up close to your body, along the side of your body, kind of tap it or press it to kill it and go on your merry way. Just discreetly deal with any bugs that you have on you without flailing. Do not flail. That's the secret, because if you think it's bad without flailing, it's going to get 10 times worse if you flail. No flailing allowed. So in the immortal words of Barry Manilow, looks like we made it. This is my destination. This is the rock that I was heading toward. See if I can get over there without hurting myself. When I was in my 20s, I was just a hop, skip, and a jump. Now that I'm in my 50s, it's a huff and a puff and a... I don't know what else, but... Alright, so we're on the boulder. Beautiful place. Been coming here all my adult life. Had a lot of special moments here with family, friends, with girlfriends, with my former wife. Just a very special, special place. Like I said, if you know what you're looking for, you can get here on foot by the trail. And we also come here by boat. And it's a great spot for a picnic and for a swim. As you can see right here, water's shallow and sandy and warm right there. I'm going to go for a swim here in a few minutes. But this is one of my favorite spots to ruminate and to meditate and to contemplate. It's a good spot. So here's a quick look at the gear that I bring with me. Got from left to right here, we've got the raincoat, the towel that I spoke of. Got my sunscreen and insect repellent. See, I've got that in a Ziploc bag so that it doesn't fulfill its destiny in my backpack. I've had that happen, by the way. You only do that once. I got some nuts, some TP. Got my firearm. My socks are drying, get a little sweaty. hiking boots, 2 extra jugaloos, my main jugaloo that I carry, my whistle, and my backpack. And there's matches and oh yeah, those ponchos I was telling you about. And those are the emergency ponchos. So if we ever had to spend the night, I can make a crude makeshift shelter between that and the rain jacket and the towel. I could find some way to get through a night pretty easily, especially this time of year. It wouldn't be that hard this time of year. The biggest challenge, I think, would be the bugs. The mosquitoes get pretty bad at night. But anyway, that's all my loot. Alright, so I'm going for a little swim here. Pretty darn nice. I'm going to try to catch something on video here. I don't know if this will work. But there are lots of little fingerlings, bait fish in the water. I don't know if you can see them. But they're very interested in people. I presume it's the sweat on my skin. If I go a little shallower, you see them? But they like to just nibble away. I'm going to go a little shallower. I think it'll be easier shallow. But they just kind of nibble at my legs. And one of the things I like to do here is just kind of sit in the water with just my head sticking out in about knee deep of water. It's a nice way to relax. And I'll feel them the whole time I'm doing that. I'll feel them just kind of nibbling on me. They don't have teeth, so they can't bite me. If they were piranhas, I'd really be in trouble. But okay, here's a couple. But they'll come in and they'll just kind of kiss my legs, or my back, or my arms, whatever they can get. Like I said, I think they can taste the sweat on my body, and that's appealing to them, I guess. It doesn't take much to amuse a fish. I don't know if you can see them. There's a lot of glare off the viewfinder here, so I can't see very well. It's funny, they were just doing it a minute ago, and now that I'm trying to catch it on video, and then trying to catch it on video, they're not cooperating. Trying to go back to the spot I was when they were doing it, maybe. Huh. I don't know if I just need to be still for a minute. Why don't I do that? We'll look around, or waiting for things to settle down. Sure is a beautiful summer day. We sure appreciate summer this far north because it's such a fleeting thing. Oh, I feel one biting on my ankle now. Let's see if I can catch it on video. You see them? They're all swarmed around my ankle. I don't know if you're getting glare off the water. Yeah, right at the tips of my toes. You see them? Yeah, I've got one biting on my left ankle. I don't know if you can see that. Wish I had a GoPro. I'd stick it right in the water. I bet we'd get a good view that way. Oh yeah, I can feel them nibbling away here at my foot. You see that? Nibbling at my toes. There's 2 or 3 of them. Now I can't see the viewfinder. I just get glare, so I don't know what you can see. But like I said, if these were piranha, I would really be in trouble because I've got a swarm of them around me now. I don't know if they're minnows or baby trout or baby smallmouth bass or baby bluegill. Not sure what they are. But I'm a popular guy. This is what it's like to be popular, I guess. Feels pretty good. Alright, so I'm just relaxing here. You can see this camera is awfully close to the water. What I usually do is I'll jump in and I'll swim around for a little while, and then I'll just go out maybe a little deeper than knee deep and set my butt on the sand and just have where my head is sticking out of the water. And I've been sitting here like this for half an hour. I just get up to get the phone / camera just to try to capture the moment on video. That wasn't a fart, that was just me moving an air from my bathing suit released. I can fart for you if you'd like, but I do take requests. But my goal in doing this is, once we get around January or February and this is all covered in ice and it's cold out, 20 below, 30 below, maybe I'll take a look at this video as a reminder of how nice it can be this time of year, because we do wait all year for this kind of weather, and it's a great way to spend a beautiful sunny July afternoon in the northeast kingdom of Vermont. And I got this whole corner of the lake to myself, which is saying something, you know, for this time of year and a sunny Sunday afternoon. Come here and have this all to myself. Can't beat it. I'm going to try to do a 360 here and rotate myself around. There's my foot. Yeah. Not too shabby. So yeah, I'm sure I will appreciate watching this in January. Anytime, I suppose, but especially when it's covered with ice. What is that I hear over there? Is that a boat? Yeah, I hear a boat off in the distance. Some kayakers just went by a little while ago. And I heard a loon. I would love to have the timing be such that I hear a loon call while I'm videoing like this. Don't usually get that lucky, but it is possible. They're out here. I saw one. I don't know, about 100 yards off that direction. They dive for, I guess, small fish or whatever they can find. And they can hold their breath for a long time, and they'll pop up 50 yards from where you saw them. And then they'll do it again. And then they'll let out this crazy sound, this crazy call. I'm going to try to get the camera right level to the water. The camera's like a ½ an inch off the surface of the water. I'm just fooling around here, but passing the time on a Sunday afternoon. It's too nice to leave, you know. I could leave at any time, but I don't know. Where am I going to go to get better than this, you know? It's pretty damn tough to beat. And you can't put a price on this. That's the thing, is that anyone who can figure out where this is and can get to this area, all they need is just a ride to this area and hike in. You know, it can be a pauper or a prince that can come out here and have this experience, and there's no money involved, and whether you're a prince or a pauper, you can equally enjoy it. It's just as special an experience. And it also, doesn't matter what gender you are, what age you are, or any other thing you are. It's just an enjoyable experience, Yeah, and it's free. You just have to figure out how to get here. And that's probably the obstacle. That's because, like I said, the only people who know how to get to where I am are the people who know how to get here. There's no trail, there's no sign, it's not on any map. Not hard to figure out if you know what you're looking for, but it's just enough of an obstacle that it keeps people out who don't know about it. Because as soon as they put up a gate with admission and paying a fee and all that, it wouldn't be the same. So, and I hope that never happens. I doubt it would. For a whole lot of reasons it wouldn't or couldn't, but it's a disturbing thing to think about. There's a few other places I've known in my life that are kind of like this, where you can come and have this amazing place at your disposal and have it all to yourself. And there's this one place in mind I'm thinking of that over the years people have found out about it, and you go there now and there's a whole bunch of people there, but it's still just as nice a place, just as nice an experience, but something to be said for having it to yourself on a day like this, you know. But yeah, I'm just passing the time here is all I'm doing, but too nice to leave. Oh, see, they're on a boat over there. They're jumping off and swimming, having a quality summertime experience. I tried to zoom in a little. I don't know if I'm capturing it, but yeah, they're having a fun time on a Sunday afternoon too. Trying to zoom in. Yeah, living large, baby. You know, I'm surprised there are no water skiers out today. The conditions right now are perfect for water skiing. And this is a good lake for water skiing. You'd think on a weekend in the middle of July there'd be some water skiing activity, but that's all right. That's all right. With that comes, you know, a little bit of noise, and which is fine. You know, it's a great way for people to enjoy themselves. And we used to water ski all the time. We used to enjoy it. There's no reason why people shouldn't be able to, but it's quieter and more peaceful without it. Yeah. Do a 360 again. Alright, I'm going to put this camera away before it gets wet. I have made a note to myself to get a GoPro at some point. That way I could take this thing underwater and see those fish nibbling on my feet and whatever else has to be down there. That would actually be kind of neat to get that perspective. There's a lot of things on the list ahead of it, but at some point it would be fun to get one and to try to fool around with that. Alright, so we wrapped up at the lake and on the way out. It's, I don't know, 3:30, give or take. Just having a nice hike. I hated to wrap it up, but at some point you have to. Because I had a little bit of a hike out of here and then a drive home. And I had to try to get home in time for supper. So, all good things come to an end, but it's a pretty hike on the way out of here. The mosquitoes seem to be a little more active than on the way in. I'm just going to tough it out rather than spray my hat again. I don't know if you can hear them buzzing around the camera at all. I'm not going to stop long enough for them to catch up with me. There's those birch trees across the trail again. Hear the bug? Yeah, they're pretty interested in me. Get over this yellow birch here. Nope. Okay. That would have been easier when I was 20. But we did it. Alright, I'm going to shut off the camera. Alright, so a few thoughts on moose and bear. Moose and bear? I don't know. Thoughts on moose and bear in these woods in the Northeast Kingdom of Vermont. In these woods, I've seen tons of moose tracks. I've never seen a moose. I have seen bear on 4 or 5 occasions, but they're always quite a ways off. And they're curious about people. I've been in here and had one maybe 50 yards away. He was looking at me and I was looking at him. Standing there checking each other out. Neither one got any closer. Eventually we both got tired of it at the same time and walked off the other direction. But interestingly enough, the statistics as I understand them, or most people are afraid of bear attacks, but apparently people are attacked more frequently by moose. And they're much more dangerous because we think of their antlers, and they can certainly do damage if they try to ram you with their antlers. But the other thing they do, even like a cow moose or a young moose, is they'll kind of get up on their hind legs a little bit and flail at you with their front legs. And those big hooves, if they connect and hit you, you're going to have a serious injury. You may not be able to get up. It's like getting clubbed by something much bigger than a baseball bat. And they'll land quite a few blows. They're pretty good at it. I'm sure that's how they deal with predators. They try to attack them, and I'm sure they picture a coyote or a wolf or a bobcat or mountain lion or something. They get clubbed on the noggin with a hoof. They're pretty much out of the game, and that's a real factor. That would I would imagine that would make the predator think twice. But I've been looking along the trail here for moose tracks, hoping to see one to show you, but I haven't seen any. Very, very common to find moose tracks in here. I've never seen bear tracks, interestingly enough. Even though I've seen bear in here, but no bear tracks. I've seen moose tracks, but no moose. You go figure, you can't make that stuff up. Here's a kind of spot where it's a little soft. I usually look for tracks. I'm not seeing any tracks other than human tracks. No. Oh wait, that might be moose. That looks like a hoof print right in the center of your screen there. That might be, and another one right here in the center of the screen. Those might be moose hoof prints. It's very common to see deer tracks in here too. Plenty of deer in here. It's rare to see them, but there are deer in here. And there are plenty of mosquitoes, that's for sure. Alright, I'm going to shut it down. Alright, we're just about at the end of the trail here to where I'm parked. See my truck off in the distance there. There it is. Oh, a bunch of frogs. As I crossed this little bridge here, they all dove in the water. Alright, thanks for watching. Have a great day.